Hi, I'm Richard. I'm a speech and language therapist and a lecturer based in the UK. In today's video, I'm going to explain the speech and language therapy science behind a news story. In particular, why people with some accents are more likely to be viewed as criminal than people with different accents. I hope this video will be useful to students and members of the public interested to know what an accent is and where stereotypes about people's accents come from. The journalist Jamie Grierson published a news story in The Guardian about a research study which found that people with working class accents were more likely to be suspected of committing crimes than people with different accents. He quoted the authors of the research study saying that voices play a powerful role in the criminal justice system, and police officers, lawyers and juries are all susceptible to judging voices based on stereotypes, whether they are aware of it or not. As things stand, listeners think some accents sound guiltier than others, and we should all be concerned about that. The study that Grierson wrote about was published by Alice Paver and colleagues from the University of Cambridge and Nottingham Trent University in the journal Frontiers in Communication. Paver asked 180 people to complete an accent judgment task where they listened to people with accents from Belfast, Birmingham, Bradford, Bristol, Cardiff, Glasgow, Liverpool, London, Newcastle, and someone with a standard Southern British English accent, also known as received pronunciation, RP. The authors created sound files in a manner similar to the way voice parade samples are constructed by the police. A voice parade is a procedure like a visual or photo lineup, but instead of looking at a group of individuals and identifying the person who looks familiar, you listen to a lineup of recordings and identify which one you think is the criminal. The most important patterns were that non-standard English accents that were rated low status also sounded more aggressive and more criminal to listeners. Unfortunately for speakers from Liverpool, London, Newcastle and Bradford, they were frequently rated the lowest status, the most working class, most aggressive sounding, most likely to display morally bad behaviour, and most likely to display criminal behaviour according to listeners, especially when compared to speakers of standard Southern British English. However, just to illustrate how complex some of these patterns were, I will give two examples. Those with a Liverpool or Scouse accent were considered the most likely to behave in morally bad ways, while also being among those most likely to stand up for someone being harassed. Likewise, the standard Southern British English accent was rated the least aggressive and least likely to behave in a criminal way, but the third most likely to touch someone sexually without consent. The authors wrote that this might suggest shifting perceptions about the type of man who can and does commit sexual offences. At this point you might be wondering what an accent is. Well, an accent is the way a person pronounces their language. It is a systematic difference between speakers in terms of the consonant and vowel sounds they use, where they place stress and intonation when they speak, which is what we call prosody, how quickly they speak, and the quality of their voice. A person's accent is often distinct to a particular geographical region, social class, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and it can often tell you whether the language they are speaking is their native language or they are speaking in a foreign language. This is in contrast with a dialect, which is a broader term referring to a speaker's accent, but also where they might use different words and construct their sentences differently to speakers of the same language. For example, someone with a standard Southern British English accent might pronounce this object as bath, whereas someone with a non-standard Northern English accent might pronounce it as bath. The words are the same, they are just pronounced using different vowel sounds. I have added broad transcriptions to the screen to show the different vowel sounds used in each accent. Each letter here stands for a distinct consonant or vowel sound that's produced in a different place in the mouth. Let's return to the article at hand. When the listeners negatively rated certain accents, there was nothing about the actual property of the accent itself or how the speaker pronounces the sounds which led them to their rating. Instead, the listener projects assumptions based upon stereotypical views about people from different geographical regions, and the accent acts as a kind of marker to orientate the listener to this. In this case, speakers from Liverpool sound low status, therefore they are more likely to commit crimes. This is why the authors warned that stereotypes that listeners have about particular accents can influence their decision making in legal contexts and lead to prejudicial treatment of speakers with these accents in the justice system. So there you have it, the speech and language therapy science behind what an accent is and why some accents are viewed more negatively than others. If you found this video useful or interesting, give it a like and subscribe to receive notifications about similar videos in the future. If you've got any comments, questions, or have a request for other media stories to be covered in the future, then let me know in the comments below or get in touch with me on Blue Sky or Twitter. Otherwise, thanks for watching and take care.